Morning students. I hope you all are well and safe. Student, in the previous class we have covered two topics, that is force and effect of force. Force means a push, pull, hit and kick, which is the main cause of motion in the objects. And in effects we have studied that it changed the state of motion, it can change the direction of motion of the object, it can change the speed, and it can change the shape and sizes of the objects. Now today we will discuss the important topic which is related with the motion of the objects, that is the laws of motion. These laws of motion are given by a scientist, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton gives three laws, and these three laws are used to study the motion of different objects. Now what laws here means that these rules, laws means the rules, these rules are applicable on all the objects which are in motion in this universe. Means whether we will take the example of motion of objects on earth, or we can take the example of motion of the object in the space. Wherever the object lies, these rules are applicable or used to study the motion of the objects. Now one by one we will discuss about these three laws. Now first law is first law of motion, or this law is also known as the law of inertia. Now what this law states, it states that an object at rest or in motion remains in same state until or unless an external unbalanced force, please be remember, it's unbalanced force is applied on it. Let us understand the first law with the help of this activity. Now this is the pen, and it is at rest and it remains in the same state until I'll not displace it. So when I apply a force means when I push it or when I pull it, in both the cases the object displaces from its position. So this pen change its position from rest to motion when I apply the force. Similarly, when the object is in motion, it remains in the same state of motion when until or unless we apply the force. So you have seen that ball is in motion, but when I apply the force it stops. So it clears that is the object remains in the state of rest or motion until or unless unbalanced force is applied. Now what is the meaning of unbalanced force here? For this I consider this eraser. I am applying the force on this eraser from one side, as there is no force is acting on this eraser from any other side, so the force applied by me in this case is known as the unbalanced force, and you can see that the eraser is moving in the direction of applied force. So this is the unbalanced force. Here this law is known as the law of inertia also, because the statement for these two laws is same. Later in the next video we will discuss about this inertia also. Now next move towards the second law, that is the second law of motion, and it states that is force is directly proportional to mass and is directly proportional to acceleration. Now what is the meaning of directly proportional? Directly proportional means if we increase one quantity, there is increase in the second quantity also. That is, so here what is the meaning here? Means if we increase, there is increase in the mass, there is increase in the applied force, and if there is increase in the applied force, there is increase in the acceleration of the object. Let me explain you, that is the dependence of mass on the force with the help of a small example. Let us, we have considered the two objects. One object is of mass 1 kg and the second object is of it is of mass 1 kg. So on which object we have to apply more force so that these two objects comes into motion? Obviously it is the object of less mass. On the less mass object we have to apply less force, and on the big big object which is having the more mass, we have to apply the more force. So it shows that less is the mass, less will be the force applied, and more is the mass, more will be the force applied. So it will show us the dependence of force on mass or the mass on force. Similarly, the second is force is directly proportional to acceleration. Now firstly understand the meaning of acceleration. Now acceleration means the change in speed or velocity of an object with time. And what is the velocity? Velocity or speed is change in position of an object with time. So whenever there is change in the speed of an object with time, then we are having a term which is known as the acceleration. For this, let us consider an example. I have considered two objects of same mass. On one, we have applied less force, and on the second we have applied the more force. As the mass of these two objects is same, so in which object the speed is more? In which object the change in speed is more with time? Yes, it is the object this on which we have applied more force, that will change its that will attain more speed as compared to the object on which less force is applied. Now more change in velocity with time means more is the acceleration. So force is directly proportional to acceleration. Now when we combine this, we get force is equal to mass into acceleration. By interchanging some of the terms, we get acceleration is equal to force upon mass. Now if we apply the same force, then the relation between acceleration and mass is that acceleration is inversely proportional to mass. Now inversely proportional means if there is increase in one quantity, then there is decrease in the second quantity. Directly means increase in both the quantities, and inversely proportional means increase in one quantity, then there is decrease in the another quantity. Now for this, again let us consider a small example. We are having one small object. Let it is of 2 kg, and we are having the second object of mass, let it be 5 kg. And we have applied the same force on these two objects. We have applied the same force. So in which object more acceleration is produced? It is the object with less mass which will attain the more acceleration. Means less mass, more acceleration, more mass, less acceleration. So this is our second law of motion. In second law of motion, we will get a term force. So if we will talk about the unit of force, so force depends upon two quantities, that is the mass and acceleration. And we know that the unit of mass is kilogram and the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. And this meter per second square comes from this relation, because the unit of distance is meter, unit of time is second, and the unit of velocity is meter per second. And acceleration is equal to velocity upon time, so meter per second upon second, and when this second goes up, it becomes meter per second square. So what is the unit of force? It is kg meter per second square. And this combined term, that kg meter per second square, is known as Newton. As this statement or this law is given by the Newton, so the unit is also known as the Newton. Please keep in your mind, that is whenever we write the full unit, because we have to write n small, and if we want to write a single letter, then n is written in capital. Whenever we have written the name of the scientist as unit, then the first letter is always written in small. So we will get 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. Now here one question arises, that is how you can define 1 Newton of force. So what is Newton? Newton is the force, kilogram is the mass, and meter per second square is the acceleration. So 1 Newton is that amount of force which produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kg. So this is known as the 1 Newton. Now next we are having the third law of motion, and this law states that for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. For this I want to give you a simple example. during your examination, if you will do more hard work, you will get good marks, and if you will not do the hard work, you will get the less marks. So whatever the action means the studies done by you. If you will do the good studies or you will do the hard work, then reaction is also good. Okay, so for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. For this you can also understand with the help of, I have dropped this ball, and you have seen that this ball, after striking the surface, it comes back. It will attain some height and reverse back, rebounds back and attain some height and then again go back. So why the ball attains some height after striking the surface, or why the ball rebounds back after striking the surface? It is due to the reaction which is done by the surface on the ball. Here the ball done the action on the surface and the surface done the reaction on the ball. So this is our third law, that is, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So that's all for today. Thank you.